Hey there friends, I'm Andrew from the Scrapbox,
and I turn video games into Lego projects.
The newest Mario movie has just come out. To celebrate that, and the fact that I've been playing Mario since I was this big, we're gonna make a brick-built Mario, Luigi, and Bowser, and then put them in a little diorama. Let's get to it.
Now, I've already made Mario and Luigi as minifigures, and Lego is gonna finally make their own minifigures, so I figured we'd take a look at the Mario game sets. So many of the characters get incredibly cute, if not blocky, renditions. And then there's Mario and friends, who look like they've been Mrs. Puffed, Aunt Marged, or nope, actually let's keep this one family friendly. And since I'm not a fan of my characters looking like yesterday's meatloaf, we're gonna take the only decent parts of them and build our own. We're starting with Mario's head, and the first step to any creative process is to make it wrong, at least twice, and waste no less than 3 hours redesigning heads that are way too big for the hat. Then you'll decide that maybe instead of making the head and then putting the hat on top, you take a hat down approach. And honestly, that worked a lot better. It really helps set in stone what you can and cannot change, and I eventually ended up with a head shape like so. Not too bad. One of the things I don't like about it though is the fact that the sides can accidentally swivel. This piece would be a much better replacement, but they don't make it in brown, which is sad because it leaves this huge gap and that's ugly. Color limitations are one of Lego's secret traps. Like, I originally planned on giving Mario this chin to help round out the face, but these brackets don't exist in Light Nougat, so he's still a boxy boy. Now let's give him this newer half circle as his stash, and then place a circular tile on top for the nose. Sweet and simple. Originally, I was gonna give Mario huge eyebrows in lieu of eyes to make him look tougher, kinda like Flint's dad from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but I didn't like this clip in brown, and since Light Nougat clips only come in one set, I've moved to cheerful googly eyes for the moment. And with Mario's head complete, we can worry about the shape of the body. Will he be super short like in his first appearance? Tall like in his first movie? Even this looks pretty good to me. But the honest answer is, we're gonna make it whatever size lets us get enough articulation in there to strike a cool pose while beating up Bowser. And the amount of different attempts it took was ridiculous. This is roughly what my desk looks like at the end of every week, and this, and the floor. Ooh, some chess piece came in obliterated cane. I'll have to rebuild him later. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, there's usually an insanity-inducing amount of chaos behind the scenes, only to show you the finished design, which always seems so simple all along.
But it's so simple.
Do it then.
But we've got the shirt and overalls, classic yellow buttons, 2 holes for the arms, a turnable waist, and a place for the legs. The legs I definitely got on the first try. These snot bricks are fantastic because their curved nature allows them to bend, making them a great way to boost articulation in the smallest amount of space.
Andrew, hey, that's not blue. Ow.
Now if you clip this on here and add this plate, then you could take this beautiful tile and attach it here. That both completes the look and also falls off all the time. Luckily, I'm making this Mario for posability and not rough play, so it should be fine. His shoes will be simple shapes, mostly just for balance, and I'm making them in a light umber color to contrast with Luigi later. I would like to make his arms exactly like the legs, but the only red snot bricks I have are already in that guy, and he scares me, so I'm not gonna take him back. But instead, I'll give him some incredibly fragile shoulders that can still bend and pivot as long as you hold the shoulder while moving it, and don't do that. On the right side, I have exactly 2 of these little bars that we'll use as forearms, then attach some cuffs, bricks, tiles, and curves to give us these little punching mitts. Let's get a clap for good luck, and attach him to the body. And our Mario is ready to rumble, looking a lot less terrifying than the original. Could I have made a much simpler Mario body? Absolutely. but then he wouldn't be able to make all of these cool poses. But now it's time for the twin who is better in every single way, Luigi.
Here we go.
While both of the hats are the exact same shape, the brothers themselves are very different. Since Mario has a short and wide face, we're gonna give his taller, cooler, and better sibling a thin and tall head. Instead of a 2x2 area for the face, Luigi will end up with a 2x3 area, which actually makes the construction of his head much more simple. I will say that he currently does have a hole in the top of his nose, but that's only because otherwise, Luigi would have to dispatch the professor to get the other type of 1x1 snot brick in that color.
Mamma mia.
Besides that, his head is complete and it looks lovely. Now, Luigi's torso is mostly the same, except for the fact that it is secretly incredibly different. Not only does he sport a green shirt and dark blue overalls, but he's been outfitted with ball joints for both of his hips instead of just a bar. And that's because we're going to be using the longer hinges for his legs to make him a bit taller, and making the fronts and sides look nice with some brackets and tiling. Looking pretty snazzy, Luigi. As for the back of his legs, we ignore the back of the legs. Good! Luigi's shoes are the exact same shape as Mario's, but in regular brown, as his whole costume has darker tones. And don't ask me about the legality of putting these loops over the ball joint sockets, but it fits, and therefore it sits. To really drive home the different designs between these two characters, Luigi's slim and tall silhouette will be completed by giving him the most slender string bean I've never been to the gym in my life arms that you've ever seen. Then we'll cap them off with the same mitts as Mario, make the whole thing a second time, relocate those shoulders, and our Luigi is complete, sharing the same amount of posability as his brother, and that little extra space given by his height has let us make his limbs much more stable than before. And now the dynamic duo is together at last. But these two brothers always seem to find a way into trouble, and no one is more troublesome than Bowser.
Now for Bowser, we've seen the little brick build blocky Bowser, we've seen big Bowser, but for our Mario and Luigi, it's gonna have to be something in between them. And I figured, since we've seen so much of the regular Bowser, let's pick one of Bowser's more special looks.
Random Bowser!
Dry Bowser.
I guess we're making dry Bowser. No, it was completely random. No, there's no ulterior motive for me making dry Bowser specifically. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's build it.
Something you should never do while scaling a character is to start with the hands. So here we are, starting with the hands. This is one of those times where you see something like a giant dinosaur turtle skeleton hands and go, I know exactly how to make that. And honestly, these turned out very well. But as always, while we make his punk bracelets, I'm gonna make moves that toe the edges of LEGO's connection legality.
Can he do that?
He did.
But with my LEGO crimes behind us for the moment, we can finish the arm by using these hinge pieces, creating an upper arm with plates and a Technic brick, stick on a ball joint for the shoulder, and use the brackets to help create his second set of spiked bands. Do it all again while facing a mirror, and with a clap for good luck, we've made his arms. Now what? Maybe the head. Dry Bowser has these rows of teeth, which look suspiciously like these pieces here.
It's perfect.
Time for teeth.
Each one moves slightly outward, and once the rows of teeth are complete, we can start on the nose, which apparently there's a bit of a controversy whether Bowser's skeletal snout would actually fit inside of his body, but given LEGO's version of his snout is a bit thinner, we'll let it slide. For eyes, Dry Bowser has deep, dark pits with glowing red pupils, and I'm going to use these Technic pins because one day I'd love to put LEDs in them and have them glow, but not today. Then all we have to do is build up the top of the skull, and use these rounded tiles for the perfect eyebrows. And that is what I call precision placement. For Bowser's jaw, we're going to mimic the style of the top of his mouth just flipped. Then we'll tile it off to make it look nice, clip it on, and add these extra plates and inverted tiles to really bulk out his jawline. We'll use these plates and brackets to give us his spiked collar, as Bowser's the king of accessorizing. Then, though the connection is a bit weak, we're going to use these action bars to attach his horns at the perfect angle. Now Dry Bowser still has a red plume of hair, but I thought, for no reason in particular, that it would be cool to make his ponytail out of flames. Just for fun, I'm not basing it off of anything. But it looks cool. And now we have his head and arms. Let's move on to the body. I'm gonna be honest, the building process goes, build it, take reference photos, unbuild it, then build it again nicely while filming. Otherwise you'd have hours of film of terrible prototypes. But I'm not gonna unmake this. That's a lot of effort. It's just a giant beam with sockets for the arms, neck, future tail, and oh, these leg sockets are actually important. I have learned over the course of making too many giant creatures, and with the help of this T-Rex, that the hips need to be the strongest. So the inside of the hips are connected not only with one Technic ball and socket, but two, making it much stronger, though a little less versatile. Speaking of strong joints, his knees will use these heavy-duty hinges to make sure our skeletal frenemy doesn't have wobbly legs in the future. Now for the feet. They have to be a bit larger than proportionally accurate because, and I hope you get this as it comes up in almost every single project, that's right, physics exists. As a living creature, you can adjust yourself to keep balancing, but a Lego build cannot. Therefore, in order to be able to stand without falling forward due to his ginormous head, we're gonna have to make the feet go out further than I'd personally like. But with all of those done and connected, let's see. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Oh, the tail. I don't include that one in the song. I mean, this is a tail. Nothing too groundbreaking here. It's attached with a ball joint so you can move it around, smash things, and once again help with balance. But right now, I'm just stalling before I have to make the shell. Bowser's shell is basically a dome, the thing that is notoriously difficult to make out of flat, angular pieces. But all my wonderful Patreon members were able to give me the confidence needed to take on this impossible geometry. And against all odds, I was able to come up with this pattern in order to make a shell exterior that fits as seamlessly as possible. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And don't mind the fact that I'm filling in these gaps with circle tiles. One shell complete. But we need to add a bunch of spikes around the top, and then space them out towards the bottom because personally I'm running out of cones. And then it's time to realize that I have to find some way to attach this to the body. Oh, that was easier than I thought. I was even able to use the slopes to fill in the holes on the sides, meaning our Dry Bowser is ready for battle. Watch out, boys, cause he's pissed. What did you guys do? Dunk him in lava yourselves?
I want to make a little base for them to stand on so they could have a cool action sequence. Maybe some lava coming up, something like that. I don't know. Let's build it together.
Now this will be the exact size of our diorama's base. Why? Because I want it to fit up there, and that's the amount of space it has.
Makes sense to me.
First things first, secure the plates. Then flip it over, and I want a large portion to be covered in lava, but I'll leave a small corner to be stone. Then we'll fill things in a bit, and man, I suddenly have the urge to play Minecraft for some reason. And okay, so over here, I want it to be mostly lava, a couple rocks, maybe some flames, and then on this side, the ruins of an old decayed castle. Or something like that, we'll see. I've decided I'm gonna make this into a falling apart stone staircase. Think it'll be cool. Update. I've been doing so much rock work. I would be happy if I never had to make another Lego cliff or rock ever again. But here I am, making more rock work. However, these will be the stairs, and I think they turned out pretty nicely. And then I made this smaller platform for Bowser's back leg to stand on. And this little piece that juts out will be very important in a little bit. Looks like we got ourselves a railing. And now, the entire stairs are complete. terrible news. I am officially out of transparent orange tiles. Oops. Okay, look, his foot attaches directly to that plate. And there's also one over here too. But even better is the fact that you can use brackets and a tile to lock it into place, and that plate goes all the way down to the bottom, so if he falls, the whole base is gonna go with him. Ideally, he won't fall though. And now that I think Bowser is nicely set up, it's time for our brothers to arm themselves. And we're gonna go really old school by giving... Mario lost his tile. I have to find it. I just got him a new one. Okay, we're gonna give Mario his trusty axe. Looking spiffy. As for Luigi, we're gonna go with the classic hammer. Hopefully it won't be too heavy for him. But with all that said and done, I'm gonna put them on the diorama and let us take a final look.
Let's go.
Two things. One, I moved Derpy Tiger over here so the Mario diorama can be against a wall. And two, Luigi was up too high, so I have him down below swinging at Bowser where he knows it's gonna hurt. Overall, a great addition to the collection.
You've done it. You survived until the end of the video. Congratulations. As always, I've been Andrew. You've been watching the Scrapbox. Make sure to do all the YouTube things like, comment, subscribe. We're a third of the way to 1 million subscribers now. That's incredible. Thank you guys. Now go out, have a great day, see the Mario movie if you want to see it. I did. It was pretty good. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.